Coronation Street star James Cartwright has named Carl Webster as a potential killer in the show's new murder mystery. Carl has already been confirmed as one of 5 characters who could lose their life in the week ahead, but it seems that we also shouldn't rule him out as the potential culprit. Back in February, Corrie bosses announced that Carl, Jody Ramsey, Maggie Driscoll, Megan Walsh and Theo Silverton are all in danger. Their stories will play out across the next 5 nights, culminating in a body being found by Betsy Swain. James's character Theo Silverton has upset many of Weatherfield's residents over the past few months. If he's the one to meet a grisly end, could his ongoing feud with Carl be the reason why? Speaking about the possible killers, James teased, "You've got Carl, obviously. I think Carl's like the tarantula of Coronation Street. He prowls and sinks his teeth into anyone." Joking about Carl using his feud with Theo as a redemption tactic, James quipped, "He could say, 'Look, I did kill Theo for you all, okay? Look, I'm trying to make good.' So it could be Carl. You've also got George. George could do it because he could put Theo in a coffin and bury him and you'd never know. Do you know what I mean? You've got Todd and Summer too. It could be any number of people. Very often with these things, it could be who you least expect. Imagine someone like Summer, he walks into the shop and she just cracks him over the head with a tin of beans, closes the shop sign and sticks him in a bin bag. While viewers will have to wait until Friday, May 1st, to find out whether Theo is killed, his story takes center stage in Monday's episode, April 27th, with some early clues to consider. This week's episodes rewind to the start of Carla and Lisa Connor Swain's wedding day, examining the events from the different perspectives of the 5 characters who are in jeopardy. Notably, Theo is seen returning to the street for another showdown with Todd Grimshaw, the latest terrifying moment in their ongoing domestic violence story. "Theo is really desperate now," James continued. "You can fool some of the people some of the time, but you can't fool all of the people all of the time. Eventually it's got to the point where he's not even bothered trying to persuade people that he's a nice fellow. Because the game's up and so now it's about survival." It's very much like the wild dog analogy. A dog backed into a corner is a dangerous dog and actually Theo has suddenly become incredibly unpredictable. I think he's become hyper-aggressive. I think all his negative traits have suddenly bubbled to the surface. Asked whether Theo could kill again, after leaving Billy Mayhew to die in the Corriedale crash in January, James replied, 100%, and I think he could kill Todd. He could definitely kill Carl too. He could kill George. There's all these people. If I was watching it, I would think, he is going to kill some of them because he's done it before. Theo knows he's in trouble now and the story with Billy's out. So I would say he probably could kill again. It's highly likely he could kill again. The cobbles of Weatherfield have never felt colder. As rain lashed against the windows of number 8, whispers spread faster than the storm itself. Theo Silverton was dead. By morning, the entire street was in shock. Theo had made enemies everywhere. His sharp tongue, dangerous threats, and ruthless behavior had pushed nearly everyone to breaking point. Now, with his body discovered near the Ginnel behind Victoria Street, the question on everyone's lips was simple. Who killed Theo? And disturbingly, almost everyone had a reason. At the center of the chaos stood Todd Grimshaw, pale and shaken. Just days earlier, Theo had issued him a terrifying warning in front of half the street. Witnesses heard Theo hiss, "You'll regret crossing me, Todd. I promise you that." Now Todd found himself under the spotlight. "I didn't kill him," he insisted to Sarah in the Rovers, gripping his untouched drink. "I wanted him gone, yeah, but not like this." But not everyone believed him. Billy watched quietly from across the pub, concern etched across his face. Even he knew Todd had been pushed to his limit. Theo had threatened everything, his peace, his family, and his future. Yet Todd wasn't the only suspect. Danielle Silverton had her own secrets. Theo's wife had endured months of lies, manipulation, and humiliation. Their marriage had become a prison, and those closest to her knew she had finally reached her limit. The night Theo died, neighbors reported hearing a vicious argument from their house. "You ruin everything," Danielle had screamed. When questioned, she remained icy calm. "People fight," she said flatly. "That doesn't make me a murderer." But the scratch marks on Theo's arm suggested that final confrontation had turned physical. Then there was James Bailey. Theo had recently clashed with James over a business deal gone wrong, one that cost James both money and trust. Theo's threats had escalated quickly, and sources on the street claimed James had warned him to stay away for good. "I told him to back off," James admitted. "But if I wanted revenge, I'd do it standing face to face, not in some alley like a coward." Still, police weren't ruling him out. Meanwhile, a familiar face returning to Weatherfield added even more fuel to the fire. Jason Grimshaw's sudden arrival stunned everyone, especially Todd. "I heard what happened," Jason said grimly. "And if Theo hurt my family, I swear." He didn't finish the sentence. He didn't need to. Even D.S. Swain noticed the tension. With a list of suspects growing by the hour, she knew this wasn't a simple murder case. This was years of resentment boiling over in one fatal night. And then came the biggest twist of all. CCTV footage from a nearby shop showed Theo arguing with someone just minutes before his death. The figure wore a dark hoodie, face hidden, but one detail stood out. A silver bracelet. The same bracelet Eileen Grimshaw had been wearing earlier that evening. When officers arrived at her door, the entire street watched in silence. Todd was horrified. "No. Mom, tell me you didn't." Eileen looked at her son, eyes full of emotion. "I was protecting my family," she whispered. But was it a confession, or something else? As the week unfolded, secrets exploded across Coronation Street. Todd discovered Theo had been blackmailing multiple residents. Danielle learned her husband had been planning to leave her with nothing. James uncovered financial fraud tied directly to Theo's name. And Eileen, she was hiding far more than anyone realized. By Friday, the truth seemed close, but in Weatherfield, nothing is ever that simple. Because just as D.S. Swain prepared for an arrest, another bombshell dropped. Theo had sent a voicemail before he died. And the final words were chilling. "If anything happens to me, look at them. They all wanted me dead." The message changed everything. Suddenly, this wasn't just a murder mystery. It was a street full of suspects. A family on the edge. And a killer hiding in plain sight. As Coronation Street heads into one of its most explosive weeks yet, fans are left asking the same question. Did Todd finally snap? Did Danielle fight back? Was James protecting himself? Or did Eileen do the unthinkable to save her family? One thing is certain. Theo made too many enemies. And one of them made sure he would never threaten anyone again. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to Crown ST.